In the modern classroom, teachers have access to an abundant supply of information communication technology, or ICT. This refers to the ever-growing set of digital tools which can be used to create, communicate, store, discuss, and alter information. Examples of ICT used in classrooms are smartboards, laptops, iPads, smartphones, and etc. The following digital story will introduce the idea that mandatory online discussion forums are an ideal and simple avenue to incorporate ICT into Australian secondary classrooms. So what is an online discussion forum? Well, it's a virtual environment which is considered an extension of a typical classroom. They aim to encourage student discussion of content, self-reflection, and the creation of new knowledge, as researched by Seth Amiraju in 2006. He found that when students contribute to online forums, their contributions are not perceived as a final product, but rather a continual learning process. Students can introduce ideas, question their understanding, or alter their understanding of concepts after discussion with peers. Firstly, it is important to study online discussion forums and ICT in general because the Australian government strongly advocates the use of ICT. Policy documents promoted by the Australian government stress the need for students to be masters of technology. The Melbourne Declaration on Educational Goals for Young Australians in 2008 was a policy initiative which was promoted by all Australian education ministers. The policy emphasises the role of Australia in the 21st century, stating that its citizens will need to be knowledgeable of ICT to exist and flourish in a global economy. This policy initiative states ICT has placed more demand on education. The type of jobs available to young Australians are constantly changing. Skilled jobs are dominating job growth. The MCEETYA does not specify ways in which technology can successfully be implemented in the classroom, just that there is a need to increase effectiveness significantly over the next decade. The policy document also does not extrapolate on the degree of knowledge students need of technology. It states that young people will have to be highly skilled and creative users. The broad scope of this government policy may lead to confusion, and teachers questioning how to effectively implement ICT will benefit from the following video. From a critical perspective, evaluating the success of technology within an educational setting has remained difficult. There are several factors as to why. Firstly, technology has progressed and developed at such a pace that long-term researchers struggle to examine it scientifically. Secondly, there are numerous difficulties of methodological design and an overemphasis on the practical matters of technology and less emphasis on the theory behind it. Research by Graham in 2011 found that it was difficult for most teachers to measure the positive impacts that having devices such as iPads in the classroom may have on student learning. Teachers reported that BYOD, or bring your own devices, often cause more disruption than benefits, as students may get distracted by being more able to visit websites or play games.
It's 2 a.m.
An existing broad-sweeping problem surrounding the use of ICT in Australian classrooms, which Lockman and Redman researched in 2010, is that teachers remain unsure of how to utilise it effectively. They found Australian educators do not currently utilise technology within the curriculum at a high frequency. Students remain disadvantaged as a result of this lacking immersion. The teachers surveyed were sceptical of what different forms of technology actually added to the content they were teaching, and remained stressed by the challenges that come with needing to operate a number of resources in a lesson. Similarly, Harris and Hoffer in 2011 found that the form of technology itself, and not the pedagogical reasoning behind choosing it, had more of an influence on student understanding and outcomes. A social psychological theory which supports the benefits of posting online forums in secondary schools can also be known as self-determination theory, or relatedness, which was introduced by Connell and Wellborn in 1991. This theory states that students will be motivated to learn if they feel their community will value them and their opinions. If peers support each other, then there will be an increase in motivation, classroom management and all-around achievement. Similarly, if there is not a positive relationship between peers and teachers, then there can be a decrease in motivation and academic results. Posting in online forums could assist students in feeling valued by their community and could positively support relationships between peers. This is because online forums give all students an equal opportunity to be heard and to voice their opinions, answers, or questions. Online forums are autonomous, meaning that students can post as frequently or infrequently as they choose. SDT states that autonomy in learning helps improve student satisfaction. Online discussion forums are beneficial for these two reasons. Firstly, they are easily created so teachers can incorporate ICT into classrooms without stress or excessive use of classroom time. Secondly, and as the following video will outline, there exists a plethora of research indicating that online forums benefit students at universities, and these could potentially be replicated in secondary schools. The theory supporting promoting online discussion forums in high schools is well researched. It's called Technological, Pedagogical, and Content Knowledge. This theory was developed by Pearson in 2001, and it states that secondary teachers need to incorporate technology with as much consideration to their lessons as they would with content knowledge and pedagogical approaches. It's best defined by imagining or a visual Venn diagram. So, not the best. So one circle would be pedagogical knowledge. So, this is the firm understanding of what it takes to teach appropriately. Knowledge of student learning styles, the value of teaching, the purpose of it, and how to assess its success. This also encompasses appropriate classroom management and planning. In an online forum, students can be directed by teachers to study a case study which has proven benefits for learning outcomes, as was researched by Graham in 2011. The next circle is content knowledge.